All right, let's take a look at the guild battle. Oh no, it's these two. It's AoE. All right, so the good news is we know what the strat is for these guys, right? They do physical attacks, they do physical defense down, and they're resistant to debuffs. So you can't bring in physical attack down, you can't bring in magic attack down. All you can do is walk into the fight with your own physical defense buffs and heals is basically it. And you can't poison these guys. They aren't immune to enfeeble, which is good to note. So if you wanted to bring in something like Cait Sith, you can bring in Cait Sith with the water damage or water DPS down, or water resist down rather, and his new enfeeble weapon if you manage to get it with his limit break weapon. So as always, let's go ahead and hop into stage 1 and let's clear out all of our stuff just like we always do. And let's go ahead and see what the buff score is for this one. Go points, go. It is Zack and Lucia. Good Lord. Hey, I think I've got good Zack and Lucia overboost weapons. Holy I've got almost all OB10. Good Lord. This is easily the best buff score I've had. All right, so yeah, so this is gonna be a really good one for me. Lucia and Zack. Zack obviously has a good water resist down weapon in Black Whiskers, but it's a magic focused guild battle, so I wasn't planning on using Zack anyways. And Lucia, the only downside for Lucia is one of the water potency sub weapons was Serpent Eater, right? So it's a bummer that we lose out on Serpent Eater, but it's not the end of the world, right? There's a lot of HP and water potency weapons. Of all the weapons that we could have lost for a sub weapon, this is not that big of a concern. All right, so let's start building the team. My primary magic damage dealer for water damage is gonna be Tifa. Like I said, we're gonna be using her water arcanum outfit for the water damage arcanum that she got in the Easter event last year. Bunny gloves, gonna be her damaging weapon. Since we're using Aerith's water damage up weapon, we don't have to use feathered gloves here, which is how Tifa would have gotten her water damage increase previously. Also gives attack and water potency, which is obviously, those are both very good effects. But since we already have that effect coming from another direction, we don't need to put it onto Tifa. We can give her the blue daffodil gloves, which gives her that extra 25% boost in damage. She's going to be holding our Leviathan summon, which I don't have at a high overboost level, and I will not discuss it. And then for her, I'm just going to give all them basic. I'm just going to give her the most magic attack stuff that we've got. Highest magic attack stuff we've got. Easy peasy. Alrighty, so we're going to be looking at water potency here. We're probably going to be using Cait Sith's green megaphone, so I can't give her that. We do need a little bit more magic attack. Which there are not a bunch of great options. So we're probably using electro cannon then, is the idea. So we're either going to be looking at Noble Collar or something that boosts HP. Her HP is actually not at a bad spot right now. I think I'm going to focus on offense here. Let's go feathered gloves for the higher attack and the high water potency here. That'll get us up to level 6. Let's put on electro cannon. All right, so this maxed out her magic attack, gives her 26 points of magic ability potency, which with her outfit, which gives 15, already puts her up at level 5. If I put another magic ability potency weapon on here, which would probably be Power Soul for the HP, right? That maxes out her magic ability potency. That takes her from 60% to 80. But I think we get more gain by putting an HP and water potency weapon on. So let's switch back to water potency here, even though it's a little less efficient than I'd like. This is kind of where Tifa's gonna struggle for a bit. And the reason why Tifa struggles for a bit, let me find, it's probably just Orthodox Raven, right? This is the more magic focused one. Yeah, I'll level this up. The reason why she struggles a little bit is because her bunny gloves actually only has a 26 point in water potency. So this is a little bit lower than the other weapons have. This usually goes to 39. And then this 39 with the additional 38 points would actually get her to this level 7 break, right? Which is 85%. But because that main hand is a little bit off, now we're only getting up to the level 7 break with 3 water potency weapons, which is obviously not super great. Does getting this to 110 actually get us 6 points as 3? It's going to be off by 1. Oh, man. Such a bummer, dude. She's 1 point off of a 15% damage boost. Oy vey, that sucks. Any other alternatives? So yeah, so if you have the anniversary outfit, this one gives a 10% boost to magic attack and a 10% boost to magic ability damage when the attack stance is full. So this is 20% extra damage. It's not as good as an Arcanum, which is 35%, but 20% is fine. Absolutely fine. This also increases the rest of your team's damage too with attack all allies. Again, it's not the best increase, but it's still helpful. So yeah, no, this is perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. There are also a couple of other options that you could do. Like you can do this feather style. If you ended up getting the feather style outfit, you can do that. I wouldn't though. I'd just do the Bahamut outfit if you've got that. But all right, that locks her in at 15,000 HP. Obviously, we're gonna have to adjust this for the level 6 or the stage 6 fight. We're just focused on DPS for now. Let's keep going. Next character is gonna be Aerith. We're gonna be giving her her new outfit. I'm torn here between having the Crimson Rod or the Crimson Staff in the main hand for the extra magic attack damage for Tifa, or focusing on Aerith doing damage. I think I'm leaning towards increasing Tifa's damage, because this does inevitably decrease how much damage Aerith can do, because we're only going to get half of this water ability potency. So her damage is naturally going to be a bit lower as a result, but I don't know that I care, right? I don't think I care. So then here, I think we're probably going to go like the lowest, probably go heal stat here, right? Just increase our heal as much as we can. And then we actually need a heal materia in this slot, because right now Aerith doesn't have a heal. Let's just grab our first 5-star heal wherever that's at. I forgot I need to go through and cook some more cures, because this cure is offensive focused, not heal focused, which is fine, but like I want to get a heal one that actually increases her heal stat. We're gonna give her the Grand Gloves, which is gonna increase her heal and her water potency. What does that get us? 3,000. Water potency is at perfect. That's a perfect breakpoint for me. That's fine. That's gonna increase Aerith's water damage by 55%. That's more than enough for me. I'm not that concerned. So at this point now, we're just gonna give her defense all allies and then attack all allies. So we'll do defense all allies here and then attack all allies. Because she already has magic attack all allies. I could look at, you know what, actually? If we put on Bahamut Rod here, does this get her magic attack all allies to 7? It does. And it gets her heal up to 6. Increases this to 3,800. Yeah, let's do this instead. I'm actually fine with that, because that'll increase Tifa's magic attack to 11,000, right? That's really good. All right, last character. There are a couple of options here. Obviously, if you're pulling on Angeal for the new banner, the new featured banner that released, Angeal's a great option. It lowers the water resist of both enemies, which is great. Otherwise, you're looking at single target water resist decreases across the board. There are a couple of great ones. You do have one with Cait Sith that is a water damage magic attack, which works really well for this guild battle. If you don't have Cait Sith built out, Red 13 also has one. That's a water resist decrease, and it's a 3 ATB water resist decrease, which is obviously very good. The other water resist decrease weapon in the game is going to be under Sephiroth and Zack, who both have physical versions. Obviously, Zack is featured in the buff, so you're probably not using Zack. Sephiroth's is a physical weapon, which isn't as good, but Sephiroth does have a magic water weapon if you pulled it for it in the Final Fantasy VI banner. So it isn't a terrible idea to bring in Sephiroth as a secondary DPS with water resist down. If you wanted to go that route, you could. Odds are, though, if you pulled deep on the Sephiroth banner, you're probably using Sephiroth over Tifa, because Sephiroth's weapon does more damage, right? And has better R abilities. Barret also has a water resist down weapon in Shark Slayer. It's a 3 ATB water resist decrease with good R ability, so that's another option for water resist down. So you can see there are a lot of characters in this game that lower water resistance, right? It's really going to depend on whatever you have available. If you don't have Cait Sith built, you can do Red 13. If you don't have Red 13, you can do Barret. If you don't have Barret, you can do Sephiroth. Whatever you want to put in here that lowers water resist, that's what you do, right? So for me, I'm going to be using Cait Sith because I've got his water resist down weapon at OB10, and there's no reason not to use it. That's kind of where I'm at. Obviously, this outfit doesn't really do anything for him in terms of like what this guild battle does. It's just physical attack and physical or magic defense, which are both, again, useless for this fight. What do I want to do here? We could do Crystal Megaphone for some magic ability potency and an extra physical defense increase. So in case we wanted to increase physical defense, that's actually a pretty good option. I don't mind that, actually. Let's do that. Just given this is all, these are all exchange ultimate weapons, by the way. None of them are the gacha versions. We probably just throw Mega Flare on here, honestly, because it's good non-elemental area of effect damage. Let's give him the rest of the magic attack. Really quick before I finish this, is there a sigil break phase for these? There is. Okay, that's good to know. I'm glad I looked. Okay, so we need circle and triangle. So we do have a circle break here, which is good. So we can throw a circle break on here. I think I'm just gonna switch the Aerith and the Cait Sith one, because Aerith can have this triangle sigil with a 5.9% heal. That didn't decrease it by enough. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. That's fine. That's fine. So now Aerith has triangle, Cait Sith has circle, and she gets an X sigil boost, which doesn't really do us any good. I'm probably just gonna cook some more materia, honestly, for specifically circle sigil break. Yeah, that's my highest, is 5.7% for circle sigil. That's really low. Yeah, okay, that makes it easy then. We can do that. Then the night materials are by far the most useful in this game, by far. And this is the reason why right here, because all I have to do now is just go expedite all, claim all, 5-star. Flat magic attack, so I'm gonna do it again. Expedite all, claim all, synthesize again, expedite all, claim all, 5-star. Synthesize all, expedite all, claim all, synthesize all, expedite all, claim all, 5-star. Flat magic attack, keep going. Synthesize all, expedite all, claim all.
A few moments later.
That might be one of the best stat stick materials I've got. That's great. That's great. 10 and 15 for the defenses and 8.5% magic attack. That's awesome. Wild. That's so good. That's crazy. Cool. All right, 6. So that takes care of that. So let's finish building out Cait Sith. Obviously, we're going to give him the Bahamut Fangs for magic attack and ability potency here. This obviously increases Tifa's damage, but it also gives him that magic ability potency up to level 38, or level 5 rather. And now it's easy, right? You can give him physical defense all allies if you want, or you can focus on damage. His damage is actually solid. It's not high, but it's decent enough. So you could convince me for the stage 1 fight to do a water potency sub weapon here and just go this attack one and then do a magic ability potency weapon and be done with it, which would probably just be Sun Umbrella at this point, because it maxes out his magic attack and maxes out his magic ability potency. 12,000 magic attack for Cait Sith. He has more magic attack than Tifa. Yeah, we're gonna let Cait Sith do damage, man. I think that's okay. That will not be this high when we do the stage 6 fight. I'll tell you that right now. I'll tell you that right now. That's not gonna happen in the stage 6 fight. All right, let's run the stage 1 mock. Let's see how we do. All right, turn it off auto battle. So the first thing we're gonna do, first and foremost, is we're gonna set up all of our buffs. Wrathful. Okay, so we definitely want to target the one on the right here because it doesn't have a defensive buff. And then before Tifa attacks here, we're gonna go ahead and get this up here and then just go all in. Gonna increase our water damage again. Yeah, it's immediately going down. It's dead. Yeah, immediately dead. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, stage 1, not bad. So yeah, so the trick there is the one on the left put its defenses up first. So you definitely want to make sure you're focusing down on the right. This is great news, by the way, because you do not need AoE damage here. You're going to need single target damage because you're going to be focusing down the one that does not have the defensive buffs. Really, really easy in terms of like the actual targeting for this. I'm going to hop into the stage 6 fight immediately. I'm not changing a thing. I want to see what it looks like. Because that seemed not too bad. We do have a physical defense buff with Cait available in case the single target damage is difficult to deal with. All right, so first things first, we're gonna do a magic attack buff. Didn't go off. Thank you, game. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do the, there we go. Go ahead and buff Aerith's defense here. Holy shit, that did a lot. Is she dead? Oh, it switched to Tifa, okay. Okay. This is a little bit harder. So I'm gonna guess that they're probably gonna switch defensive stats here. Yeah. So this is when you would switch to the left. Once it says soothed, you switch your DPS over to the left. Yeah, not having a defense buff that's AoE is definitely gonna be an issue here. So now you switch. If you have Cait Siths, let's turn it on auto battle here. Oh, really wish they wouldn't have done that. Yeah, the auto battle switching to defense mode's gonna get us screwed here. That was really dumb. Yeah, okay, that was dumb. Don't do auto battle, man. Like this is just like continuous evidence to never do auto battle. That damage actually wasn't that high. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. My bad. Okay, so that wasn't terrible. Obviously, that was not a clean fight. We did about 57 million damage, though. That wasn't that bad. That could have been much, much worse. That's a lot to keep track of, though. Yeah, 57 million damage, did about 7%, gave us about 3.6 million points. Yeah, that's not bad. Like I said, it's going to be a lot cleaner than that when we actually get through this. I do think that the defense buff's going to be a huge problem, though. I think we probably play this on semi because I don't think I can go fast enough in between the buffs and debuffs here. So we're definitely targeting the one on the right first. And then we'll go Daffodil. Okay. What if we do this? That didn't go off in time. That sucks. Maybe we just off cooldown. We just continue to like have Aerith heal. It's probably still not enough though, right? Definitely switch here. Oh, nice. That was great. We got that off just before the raffle changed. Perfect. And then I guess here we probably just, oh, and Aerith wasn't in a good spot. Okay. Oh, they weren't, that's where auto battle would have been better. It's okay. Oh, Tifa dies to this for sure, right? Yeah. Okay. That's where provoke would be nice, obviously. I wonder how that targeted. Obviously, at this point now, Aerith's dead, Tifa's dead. There's no way, right? This is just over. So that was much worse. Interesting that Aerith didn't get to her heal in time. I don't think, is there a way for me to have triangle sigil and circle sigil available? 7%, that was still around the same. I did a little bit more last time. I don't know, I think Cait Sith only has circle available. I know for a fact that we can't do anything with Tifa. Okay, so yeah, okay, that makes sense then. So we just go in with circle sigil break, we break the one on the left, it only does 6,600 with a -5 defense, right? -5 defense is a huge debuff. So that didn't do that much damage at all. You just tank that attack. And then honestly, after that, you probably just pop, once it's about to use horizontal slash, if you're not in a spot to heal it back up, you just pop your limit breaks and move on, right? Maybe we save overspeeds because we probably don't need to use overspeeds to break the circle sigil at that point. Just because Cait Sith already, like we could probably pop Cait's. I think that's safe to pop Cait's, but I think we save Tifa's until the end, and Aerith's too. Let's see. The same thing applies here, right? We mash one until it actually works. Daffodil gloves, water resist down. Wait for the diamond to fill. Go. Heal. Defense buff. Defense buff. Water damage up. Switch here because it's about to soothe. Hold. Heal. Go ahead and do this here. We do need to put exploit weakness back on, but that's okay. Got to do this or she would have died. Back here. Although, does this matter actually? Because it's about to go immediately into the sigil break phase, right? Oh my god, that killed her. No way. Well, her HP's low still too, right? I haven't changed my my sub weapons yet. That was fine. I do need to find a way to mix Tifa's ultimate attack in so we can get the physical attack up, because that'll increase the summon damage a bit. Yeah, there we go. There we go. If I mix if I mix her ultimate weapon in, that'll increase the summon damage on Diamond Dust and on Leviathan by a decent chunk. So it'll probably get me up to like 8.4-ish, maybe. Maybe. But that was much better. Obviously, Aerith dying there wasn't great, but I think that's probably, that's going to be the rotation. So you start with Aerith, you open up with the magic defense debuff. You go to Cait Sith, you put the water damage or water defense down. Then you go to Tifa and put Daffodil gloves on. And then at that point, I think for stage 6 specifically, at least for my build, I'm probably healing with Aerith and doing the defense up with Cait Sith on whoever gets hit by that first gash, just to help like reduce some of the damage that we're taking. The problem with this build is that both my water damage down and my magic defense down are tied to HP. Like this effect is tied to HP. The water damage up is tied to is not HP. This is just buff granted, but the magic defense down is HP tied. So trying to find ways to keep my HP up higher is probably a good call. Maybe we switch this magic attack weapon over to Kimura one just for HP and buff debuff extension. Yeah, because what that just drops heal by a little bit. Buff debuff extension goes to level 5. Keeps the buffs and debuffs on a little bit longer. What's it at right now? Buff debuff extend 4. So it increases it by 30%. Yeah, that's probably the call. Because then when she takes that attack, like that one attack that did 12,000 damage, there's no way she'd die into that, right? Not with 17k. And that's probably the solution. And that'll also keep her buffs and debuffs on for a little bit longer too, which will make things a little bit easier. It does lower our overall damage on the other 2 carries by a tiny bit, but not enough, right, to be concerned. Not enough. Could also look at increasing defense as well. We could give Aerith a more defensive materia here, right? Because right now she's not even rocking the most defense. I'm giving her mostly DPS. We could go this route. Obviously, if you have a provoke here, if you have Angeal, this is solved, right? If you have Angeal's new weapon, because you can just provoke all those attacks over, and Angeal laughs at physical damage. Even when his physical defense is super down, he does not care. When Angeal's defense is super down, he just giggles. He doesn't give a shit. But Cait doesn't do as good of a job of increasing defense. You know, I guess there's something to be said then about bringing Barret instead because of the physical defense buff. And maybe that's a little bit more consistent. But I don't know how much Cait's actually doing in terms of DPS. So I think that may be, because I think he's doing about 2 point something every time he hits, which is not insignificant. That is a decent chunk of damage. And I think changing this to Barret is probably a mistake. But like that would be the solution to the quote unquote problem that I'm having, right? Is you bring Fafnir rifle, which gives your entire team a defense increase and does provoke. And then you just bring in Shark Slayer as the offhand weapon for the water resist down. And I think, doesn't this have Circle Sigil as well? Yeah, so it's not like you're losing out on the Circle Sigil here. And then just let Tifa be the damage. And then the concept's essentially the same, right? Like you're looking at basically doing the same exact thing that you were before. The only difference now is you're looking to try to prioritize all the damage onto Barret, who's just gonna provoke all of those single target attacks from the start, by the way, from the beginning of the fight. So, and if you have Angeal with his new weapon, this is a great way to do this one as well. You just take this provoke, you move all that single target damage away from your carries, and that lets them be more focused, right? So you're gonna open first and foremost before anything else happens. They do this little thing, they're wrathful, rawr. You immediately Dragon's Roar to get the provoke down. And for some reason it hit Tifa anyways? Question mark? There we go. That's odd. Yeah, see, and Barret's laughing at this, like, he doesn't care. Grab a quick heal. You do have to keep Barret's HP above 50% for his water resist down. That should not be a problem, though. He says, laughing at himself. All right, so don't switch to the second one here. We stay on the left side here. I can't see the left side. Thanks, game. Let's do this. I think this is still going to be a net positive for DPS if I do this, because this will take the defense down off of Barret. Okay. I think we should get a attack off here still. I think this is still a net negative, though. I think you're losing too much DPS from Cait being gone. We'll see how much this does, though. It's about the same. I didn't use Tifa's ultimate weapon again, but she had overspeed on that time. So the damage was still a little bit higher that time than it would have been otherwise. I don't know. I think the Cait is probably better. There's something to this one. This one's a little safer. Just because it doesn't get your DPSs down. But I think I'd rather play the high risk one on the stage 6 fight, personally. I think I'd rather go in with Cait. I'd rather have Cait because he does have that crystal megaphone, which does the physical defense increase. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. I don't think you need provoke here with a good enough build. Again, I could look at putting Aerith as like a main DPS in this case, because with provoke on, right? With provoke on, I don't need the AoE cure anymore, and this has a heal boost slot with circle sigil boost as well. So like I could turn Aerith into a main DPS for this fight and just have her do single target heals that are better than what I'm doing right now, right? But the damage is obviously a lot lower. Obviously that's a little bit difficult to gauge accurately, because it's so hard to keep the defense buff up with Fafnir rifle when you need to have your HP above that threshold to get there, right? Odds are, though, that first team that I did, that's probably what I'm going to run, just because the damage is a little bit more consistent, and I'm less concerned about one of the party members going down, so if they go down, it's at the end of the world. Plus, I feel like it's consistent enough. The defense buff from Cait is fine. Wherever it's increasing the defense for, it's fine. I have the circle sigil break here as well, so that's fine as well. And then worst case scenario, like I said, if we don't want to use this, we could always use the enfeeble effect, and that would probably increase our damage as well. I'll try that offline as well. But yeah, that's a tough one, but it should be fun. It should be fun.